Hey guys, so today's project is to make some backs for my two Radialva rooms, and as I think I mentioned to you guys before, one of my weaknesses in this restoration business is once I get the radio set working, I tend to then move on, even though there's still things to be done. So the two Radialva sets that I have no backs on them. One had a back, but it's in bad shape, and the other didn't have a back at all. So one of the guys on the UK forums very kindly made this full-scale, if you like, image file for the back, which I have loaded into V-Carve and created some toolpaths. Now I just spotted, as always, before making a video, I always spot the mistakes. So I've created a toolpath for all these holes and this little aperture, because on that the tool runs inside the line, and then a separate toolpath for cutting out the edge where the tool goes outside the line. And I just realized I forgot to do the hole for the antenna and for the 4 mounting pins. Anyway, we're so far down the road now, we're going to carry on and see if we can just do the holes with the aperture. And so I think I've got things set up. I'm just using some thin plywood right now. I do have some of the more proper wood for it. And if this works, we shall move on to doing it properly. So here you can see I've created 2 G-code files, one for the holes and one for the border. And so I'm just going to load them into Universal G-code Sender and send it directly out to the X-Carve. So far so good. The only error here is I set the default depth of cut to 2 mil, and well, this little board here is like 3.7 so it didn't go all the way through, but that's easy to fix. So I think what I'll try to do is set up a toolpath for the holes that I missed, and then do that before I do the final cutout. So there we go, so far so good. I think that looks reasonably okay. So now it's 3 G-code files, one for all the matrix of holes, one for the mounting holes and the aerial, and one for the cutout around the edge. And so I just have to remember when I get the actual wood that I want to use for this, that I measure the depth very carefully and set the depth of cut accordingly. I think I might actually slow down the feed rate as well, because that was belting along, and okay, this is really soft plywood here, but still, I'm using an upcut bit. I'd kind of prefer a downcut one, but I don't have one of the right size. Anyway, next step is to get some of the correct type of wood and do it for real. Well, I was sure I had some of that backing board, but so far I haven't been able to find it, so I may have to go and get it from the store. So yeah, I was hoping to get all this done in one go, but I think there'll be a part 2, guys, and maybe what I'll do in the part 2 is the final cut in the proper material, and then see about how I do the lettering I have to find some way of putting all the writing on here. So I'll save that for part 2, which will be posted at some point in the future. Cheers for now.
It is chopping wood, painting, polishing or tuning. Xu Baihang is the owner of this store, which he has been running for over a decade. It makes about 500 business a year, and the products are sold across the nation and exported overseas.
Another little retirement project that I decided to focus on was to improve my handwriting. So having spent 43 odd years or whatever in the computer business with using keyboard and mouse ever since mice were invented, if you know what I mean, and keyboards all the way back to the teletype days, my handwriting got to be kind of crap. So I decided to go the whole hog and we do fountain pen and ink and all that stuff. And so I just got this little guy from our friends in the Middle Kingdom. They seem to be up in their game. The quality definitely seems to be there. This is a really nice sturdy box. The quality of everything seems to be cool. This apparently is the writings on the art of war by Sun Tzu, so if you say so. Anyway, so that's something else I'm messing around with. Not the sort of stuff is ever going to make any videos other than just this one to let you know that it's something I'm messing around with.